Welcome back to the Book of Flinn, friends. This is your captain speaking. I hope everyone had a very nice March break. I certainly had a restful one that largely consisted of several days of smoking weed in a peaceful house on a mountain by the sea, and watching nothing but Jerry Springer Pressure Luck reruns and riff tracks, and it was as great as it sounds. Don't forget, you can go enjoy this magical place too at Fern and Thistle Cottages in Cape Breton. Celtic Colors is in October in Cape Breton, and you couldn't get a more perfect place to stay for that. It's literally a walk around the harbor from the Gaelic College. Book early, book often. And so Raina and I had a few lovely days to visit family and recharge, and when we got back, it was time for Juice and Jinx's baby shower, hosted over at Meriden Kreis's Mandalorian stronghold of Skyhaven. Fantastic time, ton of laughs, many adorable gifts from the Flinns for the soon-to-be-here twins. So good to see so many of the Flinns in one spot after so long, and just to hang out and shoot the shit. Makes me realize what a long winter it's been, let alone the goddamn pandemic. Speaking of which, kudos to most of Halifax for being smart and keeping on with the masks a bit longer. Faith in humanity partially restored. Remember, if someone gives you shit about wearing a mask still, just start coughing violently. They'll definitely leave you alone. Anyway, I was very happy to see so many old friends lately, and bonus, Dragonlance D&D session this weekend. They're all excited, little do they know all the crazy shit I have in store for them. I'll report back on any noteworthy antics. But to business, let's go chat with Kryus and Jenny about Picard's Episode 3. Yo!
What up, hombre?
I forgot I was like my mic. I didn't mean to just like roll in with a deet deet deet.
It's like, what's up, motherfuckers?
That's okay.
I all got our cameras on tonight, and Jenny just made the face that when you're not ready for your front-facing camera on your phone, you're like, goo! You look fine, by the way. Oh, I love your sweater.
Thank you.
Oh my god, that's nostalgia right there. Oh, look at the side! Laurentian, is it colored pencils or pencil crayons in that? I can't remember.
Colored pencils.
Colored pencils. That's a Canadian thing, right?
Exactly.
Because that's what they should be called. None of this pencil crayon nonsense.
Exactly.
Oh, I just got back from Cape Breton. It was fucking freezing cold, but it is so cozy and warm in the house. So we literally just watched junk TV and smoked dope for 3 days, and it was fucking. We went to the dollar store in Sydney River.
That's fun.
Which was great. Courtney and I, Maggie was driving, so Courtney and I smoked a boogler in the parking lot by the dumpster, like a pair of fucking socialites, and then we went into the dollar store and we're bungling around buying weird shit. But anyway, there was this woman. She was out. We were blitz. We're coming around the corner, and this woman, mask down, and she's fucking around with like a Lysol spray bottle or something, and she sprays it in the air, and it kind of goes in her face, and she goes, "Oh!"
Yeah.
And I gave her nothing. Neither of us did. We normally it'd be like, "Oh, Escape Brain's like, oh, look what you did there," right? You'd have a little laugh, but no, I just kept. It got so much more awkward because we ignored it, and we're like, "Fuck her."
Sounds amazing.
My answer to anyone who asks why I'm still wearing a mask is pretty much going to be the same response before the pandemic. Get the fuck away from me.
Exactly, right? Yeah, exactly. I'm very excited to see people.
I know, right? Must have saw 20 Flinns yesterday. It felt like I was drunk the whole time. I was just standing around smiling.
That's so nice.
So, I only just finished the Picard episode about half an hour ago. I put it off to the last minute to watch. I didn't catch the episode name for Picard this one, did any? I don't know what it's called. Last week's was Penance, and the first one was Stargazer.
Assimilation.
That fits. I saw quite randomly on Twitter that this episode was directed by 80s icon Leah Thompson, which I guess it makes sense. You're going to do time travel, you got to go to an expert.
Mm-hmm. I've heard her described in a couple of things as time travel veteran Leah Thompson. Like everyone's like, yeah, she's been back in time. She knows.
Well, she killed it because it was a great episode.
Yeah.
Merida said a little while ago that she liked this one better than last week's. It was very good. A solid episode, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. Felt like it felt like it should.
Did it feel a touch Voyage Home for you just because of the same sort of thing? Oh, just a little bit?
Oh yeah. Like even Rios, hitting the concrete, I was like, oh.
He fell right on his fucking head, man. That was quite a tumble. Hats off to the stuntman.
Yeah.
I'm like 20 feet in the air. I was like, oh man, they're saying the transporter's skitsy. I'm like, oh god, something's about to go terribly wrong.
Loses his comm badge immediately after saying, I won't lose it, I'll be fine.
Because, of course it is.
Course.
I read a comment somewhere that said, I never thought that Ice would be a Star Trek villain.
Right?
Oh, of course. Yes. Yeah, right. Well, yeah, it makes sense. The social commentary is already starting. Like, they showed burning hills in sight of LA and fucking these fascist pig fucking immigration guys throwing their weight around. Like, it's already begun. And it's all right. It's all 100% right. They're not,
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, they're not far off. And I mean, freaking Christ, Star Trek only predicted this in like 1996 whenever the Benny Hill episode came out of Deep Space Nine, or whatever the heck it was called.
Gabriel Bell.
Thank you, yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the author episode, Far Beyond the Stars. Yeah.
Yeah, they actually, we saw the Sanctuary Districts.
So I is that where Rios is going to end up? Who knows?
Oh, that would be interesting.
That would actually make sense, too.
All right, let's start dumping down the list here. Face off on La Serena. The bad guys follow them up, and the Magistrate, he gets dusted.
Yeah!
I thought he was going to be a problem for a while, but nope, they fucking...
Yeah, but so does Elnor, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, what about that? What do you think, Jenny? You said before this whole thing might be a Q thing, so I don't think Elnor's dead, or he won't be by the time they fix all this. But it was hard thing to take so quickly,
Yeah, definitely.
When the ship was about to crash, Q appears to Picard briefly, but he only appeared to Picard, and is that the first time he's ever done that?
I think so.
He always appeared to everybody,
Yeah, unless he took him away, but yeah.
Yeah, but he never made himself invisible to the rest of the bridge crew and the Enterprise or anything like that. So that seemed that's out of character for Q. He's even the little bit we've gotten him, he's acting very peculiar.
And once again, he brought up Picard's fear. He said, "What else has been lost in the wake of your fear?"
Yeah.
Because the last time he said, "This is the result of your fear."
Everything he says is important.
Oh yeah. I'm pausing it, writing it down. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. So the Borg Queen, she kind of gets loose, plugs herself into the ship. They played that fucking deep thrumming Borg music just for a second, that really strikes a chord in the Star Trek fans. You're like, it's like the shit gets real sound or something.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much. We're jumping ahead a little bit, but the scene with her and Alison Pill was really, really creepy.
Yeah.
Yes.
The voice speaking out of each other's bodies, that was new and creepy.
Even just when she got loose and then started crawling, that was I was
I didn't like that.
Oh man. I was I turned to Jody and said, who the hell builds a stasis device that can just get knocked over and lets its subject out? Jesus Christ.
Let's put her in this big tipsy vase, it'll be fine.
Whoop! Oh no.
Does it seem that the technology with which to interface with the Borg Queen's mind seems awfully plug and play? It seems I'm just going to plug this into your neck and you're going to go into the mind of another cyborg. That seems very convenient. I'll forgive it, but I was like, really?
Yeah, Merida was like, did she have a port on her neck or something? I'm like, no, but the Borg just go and inject you, so they have to have some kind of
She's basically just an astromech droid.
Yeah. So we do the time travel, and they kind of use some new little effects there with the time kind of reversing, the special effects thing. That's kind of new. It was a new little way of looking at time travel special effects. I have to say my MVP for this episode is Raffi. She's obviously super traumatized by Elnor, but she just she buries it and gets to work immediately, comes up with solutions and plans before anybody. Before Seven's, she's so sharp, but Raffi just had her beat quickly.
Yeah.
All right, here's what we do. We look for alien tech. We look for weird readings and shit.
Then I try to make sure people don't get weirded out by Seven calling it an image instead of a photograph.
That was awesome. That was so good. That whole scene.
It was like an updated version to Scotty, hello computer, he just the fish at a time.
Watching Seven assimilate to the time frame reminds me of watching Dean in prison in Supernatural. Within 5 minutes he was just all right, this is fine, I got this, and she's just she's just got it. Like, she's just so comfortable and like friendly, and it's that's that aspect of it is really interesting. Just her, you can tell she's like feels different, you know?
Yeah, she got really angry with Picard. Like she's always been on his side, but like Picard's choosing basically to choose the Borg Queen over Elnor, and she's pissed about that. Like,
yeah.
How about when Agnes was plugged into the Borg Queen, so her subconscious was all coming out in that stream of consciousness about Picard, how, because I kind of wish you were my dad, all that kind of stuff.
Alison Pill does awkward really well.
Oh, yeah.
She sure does. Rapid fire awkward. I love it.
Yeah.
Agnes gave the rules of time travel right off the bat, too, like the butterfly thing.
Yes!
Don't get arrested. Don't go to a hospital, which is, of course, first thing Rios did.
Yeah.
Oh, and the thing I really liked that probably pissed a bunch of anti-vaxxers off was they outright said,
yes!
because if you go to a hospital, they could detect your ID chip or your vaccine chip records. And I was like, ha!
Sticking it to him, Jerry. Sticking it. I loved it.
ID implants or vaccination chips. Yeah, that was awesome.
Because if you think of it, right, from a natural progression of medical science, you would want to inoculate your Starfleet officers who are going off to God knows what M-class planet. Like, Jesus Christ, you would want them inoculated to the gills with every type of vaccine known to man.
That's right.
Because vaccines work, folks.
Because, like, you can trust the transporter to filter it back out on the way up, but not getting affected while they're down there.
Things you don't think about, but are definitely, yeah, like welcome to Starfleet. Here's 7,000 inoculations against, Orion space herpes or whatever. Sorry.
We took the antibodies right from Kirk.
They just gave you a big Kirk cocktail.
Right from the source.
They gave it a booster with Riker's shit years later.
Yeah, they updated it. Yeah, 2.0. It's like right up there with Keith Richards' blood.
Yeah.
I was really surprised they offed Elnor because I was like, oh, here comes the Romulan has to wear a toque the entire time trope. And we don't get that because he ate a disruptor blast to the chest.
Yeah,
you're right. That's a missed opportunity putting Elnor on a LA City bus. That would have been the boombox scene all over again, right?
Yeah.
Because Elnor, so 2020's Los Angeles versus absolute candor.
Yeah.
Oh, he'd get shot immediately. I liked Picard's description of the collective. He called it an intense euphoria, but basically a lack of sense of self, which is so fucking creepy.
Yeah, I really like that they're delving into that part of like his experience, and because it really, it makes, the other interactions he's had with the Borg, like since then, make more sense. Like gives it more context,
We mentioned before how because he's in a new body that he can't hear them anymore.
Yeah.
But he specifically says like the Borg know my mind, which is still the same.
Yeah.
So they'd eat me alive, right? So he couldn't do it. So that's kind of like how they did that. So he has Lakutis. He's still vulnerable to the Borg, big time.
They're selling this like multi-dimensional Borg. You know what I mean? Like this is not his queen. This is not his collective yet. They still know it all.
Mm-hmm.
Right. She still talks like she really knows him, though, which, of course, every Borg would know him, obviously. But, yeah, there's still a familiarity there. She seems so smug, doesn't she? She's always, like I said this last time, she's smirking. She's just kind of, like, playing it cool, like, you need me, kind of.
And then they're like, LOL, I stole the information.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, you've impressed me. I would be terrified of impressing the Borg Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Borg Queen's up close are terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
They did a really good job on the costume, right? Like the tubes down her throat look really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really good. I've seen Jerry Ryan post on Twitter pictures of them filming with her, and she's all smiling. She's like, you killed it, Borg Queen. Really good. One thing I particularly enjoyed is them scrounging around the La Serena for clothing that would pass for this century. And it's such how far we've gone from
First Contact where they get into the elevator and Picard just goes, "Computer, close!" Like okay.
Yeah. And I liked how they they made a comment about like, yeah, you just, hang on, we're just washing your weird clothes.
Yep. Oh, I made a note how after Elnor dies and Raffi's trying to get to work, it is Seven who sort of reaches out to comfort her. And it made me realize how far has Seven come as a character from the cold Borg to the person like, are you okay kind of thing. Like Seven's come so far. And I used to be fairly indifferent to the character Seven, but this latest iteration, I just love it. I think she's awesome.
I feel very much the same. Actually, at the end of that bit with the cellular image, she said, strangers don't usually like me.
Yeah.
It was just like,
like she was brought into Voyager to boost ratings to put a tall girl in a bodysuit, but the character has evolved so far and she's really done a lot with it. It's great.
They did and they didn't. Like I like parts of Seven's character. The dating Chakotay thing was weird. I felt like that was kind of forced in because they literally hadn't really given Chakotay much to do for 7 years.
That did feel a little shoehorned. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, just online, the number of bros generally who are so offended by, Seven and Raffi aside, but they're just like, well, where the hell's Chakotay? Like, what, did she just dump him? And it's like,
maybe. Who the fuck knows?
Well, and I try to like I don't get involved in conversations, but every once in a while I'll throw out it's funny, I don't know where the guy I dated 25 years ago is either,
Get over yourself, King.
I know, right? Like, maybe it didn't work out, guys. Relax.
Chakotay in real life is at the bar with Robert Picardo and Garrett Wang and all those guys. They're just fucking partying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you? But like I say, like Seven's, she's a fully realized, developed character now. And just a little note here, but when she transports in, and the kid says, "Are you a superhero?" And she just she's like, "Can you keep my secret, kid?" Like old Seven would not have done that. She would have either said something insulting or ignored the kid entirely.
Raffi took no shit from the guy who tried to mug her.
Oh, took care of him.
She's like, "Oh, right, currency. Left hook, gun, bullets tossed. Take the gun, takes the pistol apart with 2 seconds, then proceeds to rob the guy."
Yeah, robs him. That was icing on the cake. I like that.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a serious note here, but when they were doing the Agnes connecting to the Borg Queen, and the Borg Queen was going around trying the doorknobs on the rooms of her mind, and got to the sadness one, and all the things she was saying, that's what depression sounds like in your head. Just give up and lie down. And I was like, oh, oof, that's some real shit. That's a real door in a person's head.
I'm surprised that before. I realize in this instance they were having power problems, so they probably couldn't run the replicators. But I'm surprised in every single Star Trek where they go back in time, they don't just replicate some cash.
Honestly,
why do they always have to have this? Oh, right. It's probably because they don't think about money because they don't have it. But you would think if you knew anything about pre-Federation Earth, which they all do because they all quote musicians and artists and filmmakers and shit. Computer, replicate me $100 bills.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And that just solves that stupid subplot where they're like, "Oh yeah, we don't have any cash. Shit, how do we pay for this?"
Mm-hmm.
You think their computers could, at least rig up a fake debit card or something,
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, Doc Brown had a case full of money of different time periods. Now that's planning ahead.
That's right.
One prop that I did notice is I really like the updated tricorder that Raffi had. Because it's all touchscreen now instead of actual buttons. So it's like a flip phone now with a touchscreen. Which is kind of, a natural evolution from what we would have saw in the TNG era where it's all buttons and scanners and whatever.
Jenny has that tricorder, and we've all played with it for hours, and it never got old, the sounds. You'd be waving it around and everything.
Mm-hmm. I put the batteries in it not too long ago, and it's still actually, I have 2 of them. One of them works, I think. Yeah, anyway.
Had a very good tactile feel. It was a good prop.
I got the shuttlecraft up there.
Oh, the old shuttlecraft. Yeah. I remember being crammed full of the guys.
Yep. They're all in there.
They're all in there. That's awesome. They're good figures too.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to Picard. For those listening at home, we just spent 20 minutes bitching about Twitter, which was not in this podcast. Let's see here. Oh, the doctor at the office that helped Rios. Do you think she's going to be this version of like the doctor in Voyage Home? Is she going to be their 2024 contact and potentially end up going back to the future with them?
The same as what's her face from First Contact.
Lily. Was it Lily?
It wasn't. Yeah, it was Lily.
A flower name. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, well done.
The one that said you broke your little ships.
Oh. Yeah.
A lot of parallels in this episode with for both First Contact and Voyage Home, which I am good with.
Oh man, yeah, right.
Great Star Trek.
Like anybody that's like, oh, what I don't know, time travel. I don't know. I love that shit.
I do too. When it's done well, it's exciting. It's high stakes stuff. I love it.
I love it.
What was the blip in MacArthur Park?
Right.
I had to look it up because for a second I thought I got my years confused and I was like, was that the Klingon ship from Voyage Home? I was like, no, it's too much time between those two periods. That was 86, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll probably revisit that. But what's happening in MacArthur Park?
Oh my god! Like these episodes, there's so much packed into them.
There is.
Like I'm like, no, don't end. Don't like.
I know. I hate it.
Agnes's file.
Shit I stole from the Borg Queen.
Yeah.
I saw that trending on Twitter.
Especially just the way she said it.
Yeah, she had her. She Agnes outfoxed the Borg Queen.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was so good.
Which I enjoyed because this Borg Queen, much like the one in First Contact, like Borg, are so monotone, but the Borg Queens speak with a lot of emotion in their voice.
Oh, and now I'm trying to remember. I have it written down. It's a quote. Now is the only moment. Maybe I just wrote that down for myself.
That's what Elnor said just before he died. It was on the medallion. Yeah, translated it from.
Yes.
That was translated from Romulan.
Right.
That's not Vulcan, right? It's wrong. Yeah.
Thank you.
I can't remember the name of the order, but the absolute candor people.
Coat Milat. New Star Trek information downloading into my brain. Oh man, I have this old magazine, Chris, that has got this like 125 question trivia quiz about the Next Generation, and it is insane.
Oh, we should do it.
It's like, I mean, it's bonkers. There is some hard stuff on it.
I did a Deep Space Nine rewatch, and then I did, I guess of the 4 90s Star Treks, Deep Space Nine and Enterprise are my favorites.
That's awesome.
I like TNG, and yes, I consider TNG a 90s Star Trek, even though I know it's not. It finished in the 90s. Whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I find the first couple of seasons of TNG really hard to get through.
Oh, you're not wrong.
It's funny because I had the same feeling going into my most recent rewatch, which was just like in the fall, and I got through to season 2, and I kept hitting good episodes.
Okay, that's good.
And see, like I was, and you know, because I mean, there's some stinkers in there, right? But there's actually some like quality stuff. Like I think there was a couple. I mean, Q Who is in season 2. Like, you know, the first appearance of the Borg. Like there are a few in there.
Gems in there. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I do. Yeah, I definitely. You know, I get it. Like, was Next Generation your first show?
Not really, because so I was born in 89, so it would have been in season 2, right? Because it started in 87. So the earliest Star Trek I remember is Voyager, and that's because so my mom was the neighborhood babysitter. So it was as soon as you got home from school, it was you're outside until all the kids get picked up at 5 o'clock.
Amazing.
And at 5 o'clock, I'd be let back in, and ASN would have Voyager on.
Yes, ASN.
And my mom would be watching it while she made supper. So that's what I would watch.
That's amazing.
out of
That's
order
cool.
because network television all the time, right? They would
Of
get
course.
so far and then they would start over again.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I got into Next Generation. It was just watching the reruns.
Me with Next Gen was that Spike. So when I was a teenager, and I would get home from school, and my mom had gone back to work at that point because my youngest brother had started like elementary school. Was Spike TV would play like 3 straight episodes of TNG back to back to back every afternoon.
Huh.
I would just lay on the couch and watch 3 episodes of TNG.
Spike and its predecessor, the TNN channel, they were big on Next Generation. Do you remember when they had a series of commercials? It was like a guy, like an advertising guy and sort of an intern, and the intern was like a dude bro, and they were promoting TNG and stuff. And so they're in a boardroom, and in the background there's a poster of Lursa and B'Etor, the Klingon sisters.
Yeah.
And he goes to the guy, he goes, "Hey, would you?" And the guy like shakes his head and looks down, and he's like, then it like cuts away and he goes, "I would." And I'm like, that's the Spike TV mentality back then.
That's amazing.
Because Spike was the men network or something stupid, like the Guide network or whatever before. Yeah.
They had a lot of weird shit on that channel. But they did give us MXC, so...
and that's where I'd watch MXC as well. And then I don't know if it was just a rights thing, but they'd always have movies in like the TV Guide channel, and then for whatever reason, I don't know if it's like a rights thing or broadcasting in Canada versus, but it would always just be episodes of that stupid Pamela Anderson as a bodyguard show. Yes, that one. I'd be like looking at like the TV Guide channel and be like, oh, Spike has like I don't fucking know, some like Men in Black or whatever. I'd be like, sweet, I love that movie, and then I'd go and be like, nope, it's just reruns of VIP. I guess I'll just stare at Pamela Anderson for 2.5 hours or whatever.
They knew their target audience, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And then Enterprise, I watched as it aired. Because I watched Voyager all the way into the end. I was just like hitting teenager. And then I started watching Enterprise, and I hated it. Because I was like, oh, there's no transporters, there's no this, there's no that. And I didn't like it, so I just stopped watching it after like a couple of episodes. And now I love it for it.
Me too.
And then, I mean, ironically, Deep Space Nine, which is my favorite Star Trek, I would catch an episode here and there. Because on ASN, it would be like they would do Voyager for so long, and then they'd go back and do Deep Space Nine, and I'd catch like an episode here or there, because by then I was a teenager again, and I wasn't always watching TV with my mom when she was making dinner. And then I never actually watched Deep Space Nine all the way through until I learned how to torrent in like 2007.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, I always found Deep Space Nine was the hardest one to watch consistently as well. Like we all went through TNG and Voyager, felt like it was everywhere. But yeah, Deep Space Nine, it's like the hidden gem of Star Trek syndication.
Yeah, I only just watched the whole thing all the way through like 2-3 years ago for the first for the first time, all of Deep Space Nine and Voyager.
It really grows the beard when they start the Dominion Wars. It's it's just an ongoing campaign, which is
pretty much the end of season 2 into the season 3. When the Defiant shows up, it gets good.
Love that ship.
Also, the Defiant is my favorite starship.
I love it too. Jenny, didn't we watch a bunch of us together watch the first episode of Enterprise at one of our apartments? I feel like we did.
We watched
in Halifax. It would have been Halifax, but
we watched the last episode of Enterprise at Bunky's.
I don't think I was there for that because I don't think I've seen the last season of Enterprise still.
You definitely don't need to watch the last episode of Enterprise. Do yourself a favor, in fact.
It's terrible. The 4th season of Enterprise is actually really good because they finished the Xindi War in season 3, and then season 4 is a series of like 3-episode arcs, and they're all really good. There's stuff like the human embassy on Vulcan getting bombed,
right?
And there's stuff like the Terra Firma party, and there's a bunch of others I don't remember. But the finale is. I mean, the finale is the finale. It's not good. It turns into an episode of TNG. So like Riker's
and not a good one.
Troy's in it. Yeah. It was cool to see Archer sign the Articles of the Federation.
Yes, it would have been cool to see him do it like
from first, like his own perspective, not
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody watching from the back of the room. Yeah.
Yeah, say what you will about that show. I always enjoy Scott Bakula. They're doing a fucking Quantum Leap reboot, apparently.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
Oh, I don't know if you guys know, but so Connor Trenier and Dominic Keating, so
Yep.
Trip and
Malcolm.
Trip and Reed, are doing a podcast.
Of course they are.
Yeah,
Interesting.
just bringing in random like they've had.
Oh, they're
What's
just trying
his
to
face?
copy. They're just trying to copy Garrett
Yeah.
and Robert.
Except for this one, they crack open a bottle of like bourbon or something.
I'm gonna check that
They
out.
have like a moderator person, and they bring in a guest. So they've had like Gary Graham. They had what's his face, Phlox.
Billingsley, John
Who was
Billingsley.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Billingsley, yeah. And Jeffrey Combs.
Oh
just
yeah, the man of 1,000
did an
faces.
episode. Yeah, so it's kind of like a lot, like
Having fun.
because they're just kind of like nuts, but yeah, they're having a lot of fun. Like
Cool.
it's definitely worth checking out.
Did we miss anything else for Picard?
It's funny, like it was an hour-long episode, but I don't feel like anything happened.
It felt short.
You know what I mean?
It did. Short but sweet.
Peace mover.
Like they got there, they did stuff with the Borg Queen. What's his face got hurt and then arrested, and then it was over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the girls went to that tower and they did some scannies, but like other than like the awkward interactions where they try to flatter that security guard in a really awkward way.
Oh, the only other piece of information was when Agnes was connected to the Borg Queen. It said Watcher, but they also said the number 15. I don't know what that means now, but I feel like whatever that is may be relevant at some point. The number 15. I have no idea what.
Interesting.
Still no theories on who the Watcher is. No idea.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody ever get left behind in previous Star Trek time travels that could be living in 2024?
Did the time agent that Janeway and those guys ran into, did he end up staying in the past, or did he get?
Oh, I can't remember.
He must have gotten ejected. It's
Probably.
Could be someone totally new.
yeah.
We just like to try to draw those old connections, I guess.
You would think the temporal time directive would kick in and they would adjust. Like if we had time shift at one point, you'd think they would have fixed that.
Yeah, well, because remember he got stuck there, and then he was like a homeless guy.
Yeah, this was the necessary time travel setup episode, so the rest of it will just be frantic, running around and doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the rest of it. It's always weird with episode counts these days because we have to
Exactly.
check to see how many we're getting. There's no guarantee or no 22 episode seasons or anymore. It's like Boba Fett had 7. It's like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's either 6 or it's 8 or it's 10 or it's 12.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing goes higher than 12 anymore. I don't
Except Discovery goes to 13.
It's like they asked the writers, how far did you get? I worked out to 13
think.
episodes.
Except for that. Like,
Okay, we'll be back with more Picard chat next week. I mentioned once before how I like to keep a TARDIS-themed journal where I write down quotes I like and I've always drawn strength from mental health-wise. So this one by Jean-Luc Picard is one for all occasions. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness. That is life. So go a little easy on yourselves. See you next week. Windsor Flynn signing off.